Welcome! We're going to make a ladybug today. In real time, without any stopping, we are going to need red wool roving, this is Corriedale, black, any kind will do. I do like my carded black, and a little amount of white, any kind of white. Again, this is carded. Let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to take my red wool and I'm going to tightly roll it. I want it in a sausage type of shape. So as I'm rolling, I'm kind of squeezing the air out, and I will stab to keep it in place. I'm not worrying too much about shape right now. I just want a nice, firm start. And I'm just stabbing the ends so that they will not open on me. Go. Now I'm going to start to shape a bit. And the technique of my stabbing changes ever so slightly. And I'm going to be doing more of a shove. Now that I have a nice firm middle, because I rolled it nice and firm, I'm going to shove the looser parts of my wool towards the middle. This is going to start to firm it more, but it's also going to help my shaping. Love that crunchy sound. That happens when the needle goes into your wool, and when it comes out, it's a smooth exit. Getting all of those fibers together. And the more I'm doing this, the more my core firms up. But because I'm directing where I'm stabbing to ensure my shape, then my shape will be what I'm asking for. And I am asking for a nice round oval. I think that's kind of how ladybugs look. I'm going to also determine what's going to be my top and what's going to be my bottom. Now this area here is where it ended. I'm going to stab that flat. That's going to be my bottom. I don't have to hold it. But I want that to be a little bit flatter so that my ladybug can sit on a table or a shelf. And then the other side is where I'm going to put most of my ladybug's details. So a round oval. And she's looking good. I'm going to now start the head. So I'm going to put her to the side, and I'm going to grab my black. And again, I'm going to roll. This time I'm going to roll a little bit looser. And just stab it so that it doesn't fall apart on me. And this is going to be also an oval. Everybody's ladybugs are going to be slightly different, or even dramatically different, depends on how you want your ladybug to look. But I'm giving you the basics, and then you can take that and run with it. So I've got my oval. Now I'm going to determine where my bottom, my head part of my ladybug and bottom part. I kind of like this as the bottom part, and this will be my head. So because this is still loose, I'm going to just bring that around the top, and I'm going to kind of poke a little bit more, shove to attach my head onto this little guy's body. I am not making this life size. I think he's a lot cuter. She is a lot cuter. Kind of chunky. But you could always make them smaller. Just use less wool. And I am trying to stab the black into the red so that it attaches onto the body. All over, so that it makes a connection. And now, because of this, I don't necessarily want this shape like this, so I'm just going to direct my needle so that it gets a little bit straighter. It doesn't have to be completely straight. I like to create organically, intuitively, and I'm letting this little shape emerge as I'm stabbing rather than controlling the shape. I'll do all of my detailing and stuff like that per whatever emerges in this little needle felt. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Now, in some of my other tutorials, I say to trust the squeeze. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit more into the shape that I want. And I'm going to do some shallow stabbing just to smooth and firm, getting this ready for some details. Because I know that, or I knew ahead of time that I need black for the dots and for all the little details. I did not use all of my black, so I'm going to take a string. I just peeled some of the black that I had left over, and I'm going to make a little line from the head on down. So I'm starting some of the details so that this resembles more like a ladybug. And this little tail, I just let it go. I just let it go, wrap all the way down. No one's going to really, unless they pick it up and look on the bottom. So now I have, that's going to give me my two halves. I still have black left over, and I'm going to make some dots. I'm going to grab some little bits and pieces and roll them up into my finger. Squeeze the air out as I'm rolling. So that's one dot. Do another one. I'll make him 4 years old. How's that? I don't know if that's actually accurate about the amount of dots. Tells you how old the ladybug is. But we'll use it for this. Why not? Alright, so I've got my 4 little dots. I'm going to place them. I'm going to do the same motion as I did with the head. I'm going to poke it right in so that it attaches. Onto the body. You may have to hold the little piece of dot with your finger, so when that happens you have to be careful not to stab your finger. I do that quite often, and I've been needle felting for over 10 years, almost 15 years actually. All right, we're going to now put, I call it the eyes and the nose with the white. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make 4 little dots, and I'm not going to really worry about the size too much right now, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to make them first. Okay, and then I'm going to assess which are my bigger ones and which one are my smaller ones. So these guys over here are my larger ones, and these over here are my smaller ones. My smaller ones I'm going to use as nostrils. I don't think that they're really nostrils for the ladybug, but it kind of looks like it when you look at them. And these larger ones are going to be the eyes. I'm not sure it's the eye, but they are the markings of the ladybug. So I'm going to take my larger one and I'm going to place one on the side. And I'm doing shallow stabs here because I want to try to shape this onto the face. And I want to try to shape it more into an oval type. So I'm just going slow and just shaping it on to, and then I'll take my second one and do the same thing. Try to get them symmetrical. It's hard at first, but the more you do this, the easier it kind of gets. You start to find your own little tips and tricks on how to stab and how to do things, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I can guide you, but really, this art is so individual. You find what works for you. So he's got, see, kind of looks like eyes. And now I take my little ones and I'm just going to put what kind of looks like nostrils. And these are going to be a little bit more rounder. If you really look at the ladybug, these are kind of the more basic type of shape that they have. And I am still kind of doing between a shallow stab and a shoving poke just to get it on there. So there he goes. All right, one last thing we need to do for this little guy, and we need to give him a little antenna. So I have my last little piece of black wool here. And what I like to do is break it as small as I can, and then I'm going to roll it on my hand. I could even roll it on something that has a little bit of tack. So my towel is great for this, my jeans or my pants or shirt. And I'm just going to keep rolling until all of those fibers kind of stick together and kind of make a string. All right, so now that I have a string, I'm going to place this right on his head, and I want to shove stab, because I'm attaching right into his, and I'm going to not do a straight line, but I want to kind of go across, and I'll show you why. Because when I stab it, you see how it's kind of wide there? That's so that it kind of looks like more like antennas, so that they're further apart. So now he's got little antennas, and he's adorable. He's all done. His little bottom, see, doesn't even bother me that that's there, but he's got all the makings of a cute little buggy, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Enjoy stabbing.